Hi there, this is Rebecca Tripp, and today I want to talk about spontaneous healing. I have personally had the experience of spontaneous healing a few times in my life. The first time, I felt like it was just a whole transformation of my thought, and I want to explain what happened. I had been a student of metaphysics for a few years, learning how to manifest using the law of attraction, studying everything I could find on the subject. But then one day, a doctor told me I had early cancer and he wanted to do surgery the following week. He wanted to do a hysterectomy. And I went absolutely numb when I got this news. I was horrified. I think I was about 26 years old. The last thing I wanted was to go in and have my body carved up. And so I said to him, well, what will happen if I don't do this? And he said, you will be dead by the time you're 40. It will have metastasized and spread throughout your body. Well, that wasn't good news either. It horrified me. I went completely numb. But I had remembered meeting a man very recently before this experience who had explained to me how he had been healed of a brain tumor through spiritual prayer. He had applied the teachings of Christian Science and had overcome the condition completely through prayer. He looked pretty happy. He'd just gotten back from cruising around the Caribbean with his family. And he lived near me in Tiburon. I was living on Belvedere Island at the time. And I said to myself, if this can happen for him and other people, obviously, there must be something to it. So I called a Christian Science practitioner and I went to visit her. And as I sat there, loaded down with this unbelievable fear, this horrible, frightful fear that had overtaken me, she started to speak. And I had no idea how the treatment process went, but she quieted my fear by saying something at the beginning like, well, if it's early cancer, it's very superficial and not a problem to heal. That calmed me right down. Then she went on to explain to me that I was the perfect child of God and perfect health was my birthright. Well, I was so ready to hear that it completely shifted my thought from fear to freedom. In a nanosecond, I went back to my birth and I could see or feel that, of course, I was born without this condition. I was born fine, perfectly healthy. So I must have created it with my consciousness, my thought. And I realized I had, because I had a terrible, terrible fear of cancer. Whenever I went to get an examination, I would always, ask the doctor, do you think I have it? Do you think I have it? And then finally one day he said, I think you have it. And that's what we do. Our greatest fear can come upon us because we live in a universe of mind, not matter. And my mind, my overriding thought was fear of this dreaded disease. But as I sat there and all this came to my consciousness, this realization, it freed me. It opened up my thought to a higher realm. And I felt this amazing presence all around my being. And I realized I was free and I was healed. Now you can call it the Christ, your higher self, whatever you want to call it. It's real and it's an intelligence that knows how to change every cell in our body so that it's back in harmony, so that it's functioning the way it's supposed to. Because when you think about it, this divine intelligence that's running the universe knows exactly how to do it. And the only thing that keeps us from experience things like spontaneous healing is our own mind. That's what blocks it. But if we have an open mind and we're open to the possibility of perfection and spiritual healing, it can happen.